one, stocks and shares. Buying into companies to share in their profit. So right now, the Nigerian stock market is doing well. We are back into the boom of the market. And I will advise you not to join the bandwagon like people did in 07, 06, 07, 08. I will advise you not to do that. You need to study the stock market, understand the stock market. Better still, get a stockbroker or a fund manager and then open an account with them and then let them begin to help you to manage the investment. So you can say, okay, I have 100,000 every month, I have 50,000 every month. You be helping me to decide what stock is good, and then so that they can buy, sell. You have to now decide whether you want to be a stock trader or a stock investor. Those are two different things. So that you can know if you are going for the long haul or just want to trade and do high risk and high return and just turn your money over and move on. So all this needs to be looked into. So when you are into stocks, one thing that happens with stocks is that it is one investment with 3 returns. Buying shares of a company means that the company does not belong to you, but when you become a shareholder, you become a part owner of the business. So by being a shareholder, you become a part owner of the business, and you can now share in the profit of the business. That's what it means to be a shareholder. So that you are working in a company does not make you a shareholder. But buying shares in the company makes you a shareholder even if you are not working in the company. Because investment is your money is working for you instead of you working for money. So you need to understand that it's very, very important. So it is one investment with 3 returns. So when you invest in the stock market, number one, you have what we call capital appreciation. So if you buy a stock of a company for 12 naira and the stock increases to 14 naira, you have made 2 naira profit on each stock. That is capital appreciation. That is one way that you make money when you become a stock trader or investor. Number 2 is what we call dividends. Dividends. Now, dividends means that every year when the company has done their books and they have discovered how much profit they have, they now earmark a portion of their profit to be shared among all the shareholders, and that is dividends. So you make money by capital appreciation. Then number 2, you make money through dividends, and then number 3, you make money through bonus shares. So from time to time, when you are part of a company, they might now say, okay, what we want to do now is for everybody that has shares with us, for every 5 shares that you have, we'll give you 1 free share as a bonus. So you make money in different ways just by investing in the stock market. So if you want to play in the stock market, you can play in the stock market right now, and go and study more about it so that you can begin to invest. And number 2 is properties. Properties. And you know, I don't need to tell you about that. You know that that's one of my passion, because I've learned how powerful real estate is. So investing in real estate to build wealth and get return. And when it comes to real estate, like I've said over and over again, every business on earth is a real estate business. Every business on earth is a real estate business. So you need to invest in real estate. And a city today was a village yesterday. A village today will be a city tomorrow. You don't wait to buy land. You buy land and you wait. Very, very important. Okay, so real estate, so you can do land banking, go into a bush, go into a forest, go into a far place, buy the land and wait for the land to appreciate. And that can help you. So if you have money now, you can do it yourself. You can put money together with a lot of other people and go into fractional ownership and go into collaboration. And then you put the money there and then you see the return. So property is one thing that you can also do. Number 3 is businesses. Building your own business, starting your own business, becoming an entrepreneur is one way that you can invest. So that instead of the money just sitting there in the bank or the money being spent and wasted, you invest the money into business. But one thing you can also do is not just your own business, you can also invest in other people's business. And you can become an equity owner, or you can become an angel investor or a venture capitalist, whereby somebody else is the owner of the business, but you own part of the business Not like buying shares and stuff, but just buying equity, which is the same thing, but it's different in the sense that you are meeting the people to say, look, I want to buy into this business. How much can I give you? What can I get from this? So that's one of the, so you have production business, you can go into trading, you can go into farming, you can go into import and export. There's so much in all this that can be done, so much within the value chain that can help you to make money. Number 4 is intellectual properties, coming up with your own inventions, product or services. I believe very strongly in this. I've written over 100 books. I've published 56 of them right now. And I'm still going to be doing, I think 2 more books before the end of the year for another market. And I'm telling you, you can make money by coming up with your own intellectual property. So instead of just being happy that you have a designer bag, a designer shoe, designer handset, designer wristwatch, why not become the designer that people will buy? Why not become the designer that people will be interested in doing business with, or in having your brand name associated with them? Number 4 is intellectual property. Number 5 is internet business, making money online legitimately by automating your business or selling online. There is so much, in fact, a whole lot that can be done online, a whole lot that can be done online. Everybody online is not doing Yahoo. There's so much money in remote work. There's so much money in investing in all kinds of things. And probably before the end of the year, we'll look into maybe do a series again on, opportunities that you have online that you can take advantage of, so that we can look into that. So knowing how to multiply your resources will help you build wealth and become financially free. You make money by working. You manage money by budgeting. You multiply money by investing. You make money by what? By working. You manage money by budgeting. You multiply money by investing. So to multiply money effectively, you need to differentiate between savings and investments. It's very, very important. You need to differentiate between savings and investments. If you are going to multiply money, you don't multiply money by saving. Savings is part of the financial management level, not investment level. You don't multiply money by savings. You manage money by savings. So savings is part of the budgeting aspect. We've dealt with that last week already. So don't now assume that, I'm saving money, I'm multiplying money. No, you are not multiplying money, because savings is not an investment. So don't equate your savings for investment. You can save for investment, but savings is not an investment. You can save for investment, but savings is not an investment. So that's one thing you need to know. Saving is setting money aside for a purpose. Investing is sending money on assignment for a return. Because if you understand the way finances work, any money you save in the bank, by inflation and devaluation, that money is actually losing value. But you still need to save, because that discipline and culture is required, because there are financial principles that requires you to save. I've told you already, 6 to 8 months of your living expenses saved up in cash. So you cannot say, I'm not going to save again. No, you still need to save. So a lot of people struggle to save and wonder why they still don't have money to multiply, why they still don't see their money multiply. Saving is setting money aside for a purpose. So an investment is one of those purposes why you save. So like I said, sometimes the interest rate on your savings is far below the inflation. Investing is sending money on assignment for a return. So you save so you can have money to invest, and it is by investing that you multiply money. So everybody needs to save a minimum of 10 to 20% of all their income. And then after a while, you can save 50, 40, depending on a lot of factors. But minimum 10, 20 should be saved. And that money you are saving it for many reasons. Last year, I did a series, part 1 to 5, developing a savings culture. So if you were not around, you can go to my YouTube channel to see that, developing a savings culture, part 1 to 5. Okay, so you need to be careful where you invest. And that's why we always say investigate before you invest. Investigate before you invest. So investment is very, very important if you are going to multiply money. Change is the only constant in the world that we live in. And as the world continues to evolve, we need to understand that the game is the same, but the rules have changed. So if you want to continually be relevant, like I've said over and over again, you need to continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So you need to ensure that you do everything you can to continue to update yourself. So when it comes to this issue of money, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result has been discovered to be another definition for insanity. And because we are not insane, we need to know that the world is changing, rules are changing, and there are many things that were not available before, that were not part of our world before, that are now available, and they are part of our world. So in the world of finances, knowledge is the new money. Knowledge is the new money. I remember when we're looking into where money hides, I've shared a lot of things with you. I remember sharing with you my experience when I was traveling in the 90s, in 1997. The nothing to declare, something to declare story. What had happened was in 1997, my first trip to the UK was in August of 1997. And then I went back in November of 1997 because there was an opportunity for me to begin to sell home videos, music, and books to supply different stores in the UK. And by the time we got into 1998, I began to go to UK 4 times in a year. By 1999, I was going to UK every 2 months or thereabouts because I was now a major supplier of all this material. But what had happened was, when I go with lots of bags, 14 bags, 16 bags. And I was carrying a lot of load, but I was making money, but not as much as I began to make when I began to sell knowledge instead of selling products. By 2003, I was invited for a major event in the UK where they paid for my business class ticket, paid me a speaking fee, and the money they paid me was more than the money I used to make when I was carrying all those bags. And in one of the times I traveled to the UK, I realized that because of the load I carried at the airport, you have something to declare, nothing to declare. I went through nothing to declare, and they said, no, come this way. And that's why I realized that there are some things that are tax-free, that are taxable and all those stuff. But I've shared the story before. But now in 2003, when I went in, I just went in with my suit bag and rolled in. Nobody stopped me for anything. But this time around, I had nothing physically to declare because what I wanted to declare was already inside me. I had become the mobile money. So knowledge is the new money. If you look at life today, you realize that the rich people today are not industrialists. They are not agrarians. They are not, no, the rich people today are people that are trading in ideas, trading in intellectual properties. So knowledge is power, ignorance is darkness. Money flows like a current from those who don't know to those who know. So one thing that you need to understand is that in the world that we live in today, give attention to knowledge. Once you know, those who don't know, they will pay you for what you know. That's it. Knowledge is the new money. So instead of looking for money, seek knowledge. When you seek knowledge, you will have value. And money flows in exchange for value. What is value? Solving problems, meeting needs, and answering questions. And that's how many people are making money today, because they know what other people don't know. So one major question that people ask me all over the world is, what would you advise someone to invest into the most? I get asked that question over here, and what do you think I should invest into? What do you think I should invest into? And my answer is always the same. Invest in yourself first. Invest in yourself first. Invest in yourself continually. Personal development is a lifetime activity. The day you stop learning, you start dying. So invest in yourself. Make your personal development a lifetime project. Make your personal development a lifetime project. Do it deliberately. Do it intentionally. Do it strategically. Do it consistently. Do it specifically. Do it generally. So number one, do it deliberately. Be deliberate about getting knowledge. Be deliberate about your personal development. I'm telling you, be deliberate about that. Every year, I look for conferences, I look for events that will help me. I read one book every week. I've done that for over 30 years. I go online, I watch this, I read this, all manner, just development, deliberate. Do it intentional, be intentional. Okay, this year I'm going to attend one conference. This year I'm going to attend 2 conferences. This year I'm going to read 1 book every week or every month. Do it strategically. Be strategic about it to say, okay, I will do this for this area of my life. I will do this for this area of my life, so that you will not be feeding only one area of your life and you are not feeding another area of your life, because the area you feed is the area that will grow. What you feed is what will produce. Then do it consistently. Don't give up. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. So, by the time I return from this trip now, I'll be returning as a better version of myself. Why? Because of the conferences I'm going to be attending. I'm not just going to say, oh, I'm going on a mission. I'm going on, and I'm going for a leadership conference where I will also sit down for 3 days. I'm not preaching. I'm sitting down for 3 days learning about 14 different sessions. I'll be there learning. And it's not cheap. So you have to be consistent about it. Then do it specifically to say, this is one. Because if I'm going on holiday, I say, this one is for holiday. This one is for leisure. If you are going for development, say, this is a personal development exercise. So then do it generally to cover all the different areas of your life and all the different things that you handle. No one will plan your life or your future for you without your direct involvement. No one will plan your life or your future for you without your direct involvement. Many people are in serious dilemma or dilemma due to debt, and their greatest desire is to become debt-free. So they don't want to hear anything about debt. I don't want to hear, I'm not, oh, no man, nothing. Oh, no man, nothing. However, if you open up to this new rule, you will realize that debt can be more of a leverage than a bondage if you know how to use it. The richest nations on earth have debt. The richest companies on earth have debt. The richest people on earth have debt. So many people don't understand, because they're like, how can you say he's the richest man and he's still owing? How can you say it's because there is a difference between good debt and bad debt. So there are 2 major kinds of debt: good debt and bad debt. So when the Bible is saying, oh, no man, nothing, the borrower is a servant to the lender, it's talking about what? Bad debt, not good debt. In the same Bible, it says, go borrow vessels, empty vessel, not a few. Jesus borrowed the boat of Peter. Jesus borrowed the upper room to do communion. So when you look into the Bible, you will realize that the Bible says, oh, no man, nothing but. So that means you still owe them but love. You owe them love. So let's look at good debt and bad. So good debt is leverage, while bad debt is bondage. Good debt is any debt you incur for the purpose of investment that brings greater return than the cost of the debt. I remember last year, one of my mentees contacted me when he saw the way prices of goods were going. And he didn't even know it would be as bad as it was this year. And it was like, this building we are building is going to cause a lot of trouble. Prices are changing. We will not be able to meet up. You know, all this off-plan stuff. So I said, but I thought you said you had a line of credit of about $1 billion in the bank that you can borrow up to $1 billion. I said, yes. I said, how much are they asking you to give? What's the interest? He told me. I said, do you know that the inflation rate is more than that interest rate now? I said, collect the $1 billion. Finish the project. Collect the $1 billion, finish the project, so that at least you are sure the project is ready. Then you put the interest and everything on top and sell as you have completed. He obeyed. He did that. Who will have known that cement will go from 3.5, 4.5, 7.5 to 13, 14? Who will have known that iron rod, gravel, everything will go the way it's going? So who will have known? Just by doing that in December, he was able to have money to put everything in place. The project was completed just before end of February. In 2 months, they were able to do a lot. And all the inflation that happened this year now, they were not affected because he had bought cement, paid for everything, and got all the things he needed to get on ground. So good debt is a leverage, while bad debt is bondage. Many of you are working in an organization where there is car loan, interest-free. You didn't collect. You are working in an organization where they give you loan. and they are not collecting interest, so they will be deducting it from your salary, which is actually a way of causing you. It's like you are collecting future money to be able to pay back with the discipline that they'll be deducting from your salary. They are not asking you for interest, so you didn't collect. Oh, no man, nothing. Now, you are no more working in a place where they can borrow you money. You are now looking for money. So, good debt is a leverage. Bad debt is a bondage. So, bad debt is when you borrow money to eat, borrow money to buy shoe, borrow money for borrow money for things that does not bring any return. That is bad debt. Now you know how to make money. You know how not to make money. You know how to make money. You make money by working either for yourself or for somebody else. You know how to manage money by budgeting, and then you multiply money by investing, and now you know different places that you can invest into. And that's what we're going to stop today.